Today, we're diving into a really powerful and, honestly, a pretty unique institution from Brazil. It was created to solve a problem that exists in, well, basically every country on Earth. It's a huge, ambitious answer to a question that gets right to the heart of fairness and equality.
And it all boils down to this one simple question. What happens when justice has a price tag you just can't afford? When your rights exist on paper, but in the real world, they're locked behind a door, and you don't have the key? So let's start right there, with that core problem. We can call it a right you can't afford. It's that massive gap you see in so many places between what the law promises and what people can actually get their hands on in their day-to-day lives.
And what's really important to get here is that access to justice isn't just about getting your day in court. That's a huge misconception. True access means, first, you have to know you even have rights. And then you need real, actual ways to defend them, long before you ever set foot inside a courtroom.
Okay, so how does a country even begin to tackle a problem that big? Well, that brings us right to Brazil's fascinating answer to this very challenge, the Defensoria Pública. So they created the Defensoria Pública. Now, this is not just a group of government lawyers. The Constitution itself defines it as an autonomous and independent institution. And that word, independent, is everything here. It's not just another agency. It's designed to be its own pillar of the state.
And you can really see its power right here, in the actual text of the Brazilian Constitution. I mean, listen to the language in Article 134. Essential institution, promotion of human rights, and, this is the game changer, defense at all levels, judicial and extrajudicial. This isn't just some policy, it's a constitutional mandate. So, just so we're all on the same page, the Defensoria isn't another kind of public defender's office or a state-run law firm. It's a totally separate and unique public body with its own specific mission.
And that mission, well, it goes way beyond the kind of courtroom drama we all picture. And this is where the innovation really starts to kick in.
In fact, the work they do is so different from what a traditional lawyer does, which is called advogar in Portuguese, that people actually came up with a whole new word to describe it: defensorar. It captures this much broader, more social role that's about way more than just filing paperwork and arguing cases.
Here's kind of how that works. On one side, you have your traditional judicial defense, the classic courtroom battle. But on the other side, and this is a huge part of their job, you have extrajudicial solutions. The goal is to solve conflicts before they even get to trial, to keep them from jamming up an already overloaded court system, and to get faster, better outcomes for everyone. And they've got a whole toolkit for this stuff. We're talking about conciliation, mediation, direct negotiation, all these methods that are designed to find common ground and solve problems without needing a judge to bang a gavel. But it gets even bigger than that. The Defensoria doesn't just help one person at a time. It actually has the power to defend the collective rights of entire vulnerable groups. Think about consumers getting ripped off, or elderly people being taken advantage of, or women who are victims of violence. They can file a single action to protect thousands of people at once.
Now, an institution this groundbreaking didn't just pop into existence overnight. Its history is really a story of a constant fight for its own power and its place in the system.
And you can see on this timeline, it has been a long road. The idea of legal aid goes all the way back to 1897, but the modern version was really born in that 1988 Citizen Constitution. But the fight wasn't over. It took till 2004 for the state-level branches to get their full autonomy, then 2013 for the federal one. And a huge win came in 2014 when an amendment required them to be in every single judicial district. It's just been this slow, steady climb for more and more strength.
And the people in these jobs are the real deal. Becoming a public defender is no joke. You need a law degree, then 3 years of real-world legal experience, and then you have to pass this incredibly tough public exam. This is not just a job. It's a very prestigious career path for some of the country's best legal minds.
So why the long struggle? Well, this quote from back in 1995 just nails it. The Defensoria faces powerful enemies who do not want any change in the present social situation. Think about it. When you give a voice to the voiceless, you inherently challenge the way things are. And that creates powerful resistance.
This symbol from a study on the topic really captures that journey perfectly. It's not a straight line, is it? Getting to real justice means breaking through all these different barriers, and that is exactly what the Defensoria was built to do. So what's the big takeaway from all this? I think it's about seeing justice in a new light, not as a private service you buy, but as an essential public good for everyone.
Probably the best analogy is this one. The Defensoria Pública is to the justice system what a public hospital is to healthcare. It's essential, it can literally be life-saving, and its doors are open to everybody, especially those who could never, ever afford it on their own.
At the end of the day, this whole institution is a profound statement. It's a country saying that rights written down in a book are totally meaningless unless you have a powerful, dedicated engine working every single day to make those rights real for every single person.
Which kind of leaves us with one last big thought. Brazil's Defensoria is one amazing, ambitious answer to a universal problem. But it really forces all of us to ask the question, how does any society get past just the promise of justice to actually guarantee justice for all?